I am Veronica, bringing you the news you would want to watch.
Welcome back. During the week, the Northern Elders Forum, NEF, raised concerns over the federal government's proposed tax reform bills, urging for wider consultation with stakeholders before implementation of the bill. Chairman of the board, Al-Amin Dagash, while speaking, cited the potential adverse effects of the bills on northern Nigeria and the nation as a whole. He, however, called for the suspension of the bill, stating that the implementation should be upheld by strict adherence to common cardinal characteristics of the public policy making process. I still have with me Justice Ojena in the House, and of course Ibrahim Garba is still hanging out at the Abuja studio helping us out with all the analysis. Now, Ibrahim, quickly, Northern Elders are urging more consultations on the tax reforms. Now, this is obviously not a bad idea, but how far do you think this can go? Because we've been hearing consultations upon consultations. So how long do you think the timeline for consultations would last before implementation?
Thank you very much for this question. I've been waiting for this for some time now.
Right.
Mark, I want you to understand something. When Mr. Taiwo Oloyede was given this task by the presidency, it is expected that you go, embark on a wider consultation. It's not about Abuja, Lagos, or calling a few hands to support you in presenting this memo to the federal government.
Right.
I respect his judgment. I respect whatever template he brought in. But again, there are some wide areas which we have not covered, especially in areas of implementation. If you look at the notes, there is this element of trust deficit. You are collecting our money. How do you intend to spend this money? Please give us a lowdown. There are about 7 items I want to list in just few minutes.
No.
Another one is, there are some non-critical stakeholders that were not engaged in the process of this documentation.
Right.
If you look at the northern Nigeria, you have the highest concentration of those within the informal sector. So if you are, getting revenue from these people, how do you balance it? And you say, okay, 60% go to Lagos in terms of, VAT distribution and all that. There's also data analysis to balance your report. How effective is the data he gathered from all sectors of the economy, especially from the north? You have the Kadccima, you have the trade associations and all that. They want to see a template you are working with. That has not been submitted. There's also a panic due to reliance on newspaper pages. This thing is beyond newspapers. We should go beyond newspapers to go into the areas to find out, consult widely from these critical stakeholders. Then there's unclear definition of some critical terms of the report, the tax reform bills. So you need to come out plainly to tell the board, okay, this is what this meant, this is what this meant. If you say VAT, if you say withholding tax, define it clearly in a way these people will understand. Because the bulk of traders, they are from the north. Okay. Then at the same time, there's this perceived rush by the members of the National Assembly. Why are they desperate to push this bill? Okay. Why not allow for wider consultation? Why not allow to build so that we can have input from every part of the country? So if you politicize this bill as if, okay, you are desperate to pass it because it's coming from Mr. President, I think we're going to get it wrong. And the judiciary, they will lay an ambush. Any mistake, people will go to court, and it will render it invalid. So we have to be very, very careful in the administration of these reform bills. And at the same time, the National Assembly should, embark on these town hall meetings involving critical stakeholders, especially from the north. Okay. So if you do that, I think we have a very good document to work with. For me, the traders are saying, the governors in one voice say, it is a very good template, but again, it requires wider consultation so that we can panel bid and have a very good document to work with across the nation.
Thank you that was very elaborate. Now, Justice, from everything he said, you can tell that there is a lot of issues. It's very complex at the moment. So how do you think we can actually, harness all of this? Because obviously cohesion is a problem here.
Okay, for me, I actually think that there is little that we can do, because at the end of the day, politics is a game of, is a local matter, especially because we do not seem to be having the cooperation of the northern most leaders, even though a lot of their legislators have committed.
But he said something that's quite critical. He said some very important figures in the northern, circle were not involved in the setting up of the process of the bill.
I feel
Isn't that worrisome?
For me, I don't even see that as
a problem.
I don't see it exactly as a problem because with Mr. Oyedele, as far as I'm concerned, he did as much consultation as humanly possible within the time, because there was a time where he actually booked a meeting. From what I heard him say, he booked a meeting with every possible governor from the north, every possible critical stakeholder from the north.
Okay.
And I also feel that he didn't know, or he didn't envisage the fact that it's going to be politicized this much. Because what we are seeing, as far as I'm concerned, is the politicization of these tax reforms. It's not exactly because it's going to benefit some part or not. And we must remember, when an issue becomes something that is politicized, it doesn't even matter if it is coming, the number of intentions behind it. If it is politically stained, there is little that anybody can do. Oratory cannot save it. Okay. The fact that it is in the best interest of the country cannot save it until the politics of it is gotten right. Until maybe these persons are appeased. That's the only time you can see light of day.
Before I move on to the last story now, you are on the same page with Garba that wider consultation should be held for a proper harnessing of the bill to come to pass.
Yes, but again, the people that are being consulted should deal in good faith.
Oh, should deal in good faith. All right, thank you very much. All right, finally, at least 11 people were killed and 31 huts burnt to ashes in Gululu village, Jahun and Miga local government.